Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another Sonic merchandise video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the TOMY Amy Rose figure from Sonic Boom. Okay, now I've been wanting to pick up the smaller Sonic Boom plushes for a while now, and now that the merchandise has finally come available in the United Kingdom, I'm quite happy to finally be able to get hold of these plushes. Now, some of the Sonic Boom merchandise is easier to obtain than some of the other stuff, which I will come to a little bit in this video. If you're a regular subscriber to my channel, you would have seen that I reviewed the two larger talking Sonic Boom plushes sometime close to Christmas last year. But I'm going to be starting my reviews off for the smaller Sonic Boom plushes with Amy Rose. Okay, so we'll move her in for a closer look. In terms of a plush, I think she looks pretty okay. It does the job that I'd say it's designed to do for an Amy Rose plush from Sonic Boom. I wouldn't say she's the best looking out of the four smaller Sonic Boom plushes, but then you've got to remember her attire and looks are a bit more complex and detailed as opposed to some of the other characters. You've got all this extra like bits and pieces all around on her dress here and shoes, whereas like Sonic is just mostly all blue with a couple of cream patches and some bandages. So you got to remember when they're obviously making a plush that's got more detail and attention to her attire, when they're shrinking that down into a small plush, there's going to be like a few shortcuts. But overall, I'd say she's a good looking plush. So we'll start with the bottom bits of her shoes. You've got like these cream ankle bracelets. I'm not sure the correct term for them. You've got this little strip here that goes around it, which it has somewhat movement. You can move it up and down if you wish. Her shoes. It's nice to see they've used the same colour cotton to do the stitching, so it doesn't really show as much. There is a different colour, a different shade of pink I should say, on the soles of her shoes, which is pretty cool. Pretty much the same thing with the others. I'm not a huge fan of this style of stitching though, with the top bits of the shoes here, because it's a little bit like the Jazzware plushes, where it's sort of stitched over them as opposed to through the side bits, so it's not as noticeable. So you do get these kind of like flick up bits, which is a little bit of a shame, but as I said, it is a smaller plush and overall not bad. So we've got her legs here, we've got the different shades of pink. And we come up to her dress. The actual touch tag itself is actually under the dress. It just goes up there like that. Let's have a little look. So we've got the Sonic Boom logo. The TOMY logo. And washing ingredients. Her actual body itself is a lot more firmer than the rest of the actual plush. It's got like as you can see there, it's got a much more firmness to it, whereas opposed to her legs and arms, it doesn't feel like they've got much stuff in that much in there, but that's to give it a little bit more movement, I'd say. There's a bit more being played with. The hands, I do like the black stitching they've done on the fingers. Now on some of the Jazzware plushes, they've used white stitching here, and you can't really notice the well, it doesn't really look much. If you look at it from a distance, you can't even see it really. But at least with the black stitching, it actually shows that yes, it does have fingers. They're not each individually stuffed though, as opposed to the larger Sonic Boom plushes I reviewed. But then you're not really going to get that on a smaller plush. Moving on to her head, this is where it gets a little bit strange. If I show you her mouth, well, you've got the smile joint where it goes into the middle bit of the stitching there. You've got the left side going off in a little bit of a different angle, so it looks a little bit strange. Her nose is flat, but then that is what Amy Rose's nose is like in the Boom design. She has very nice stitched on green eyes, I do like that. And she's got the black parts around her eyes and her eyelashes, which look pretty cool. You got this little frilly part of her hair there. Stick it out a bit more. That's just like a thin sort of material. There's no stuffing in that. It's a slightly different shade of pink as opposed to the more very light pink present on her head. Now the ears I do like, they've stitched these in properly as opposed to what I mentioned with the shoes earlier. They haven't got that outside stitching effect, and I don't know why they didn't do that with the shoes, because this looks a lot better. A lot of the other Jazzware plushes have the stitching on the outside of the ears, and it just looks very sort of tacky-ish. Coming around to the side of her head, very nice stuffing on her hair, or spikes, whatever you want to call them. You can see a little bit more of her here. Can't really get much depth feel to it looking around this bit, but it looks pretty cool. It's pretty well stuffed, as you can see. It looks pretty firm. There is a bit of cotton there that looks like a little bit of a defect coming from the factory. You can probably see that there. I'll get a pair of scissors later and cut that bit off. You've got a headband before I miss it. Not much you can really do with that. You can get your finger under it. It's not glued on there, it's actually stitched around to that part of her head. And then we come on to the tag itself. Now the tag is huge, it's actually bigger than her head. I don't know why they put such massive tags on them. So we've got Sonic Boom there, it only actually says Amy, but I've noticed that on the other plushes it only has the actual first part of their name, so it doesn't have like Sonic the Hedgehog or Amy Rose. So we've got TOMY 3+. Bit more about the manufacturer, and a little bit more on the back and the barcode. And I think that's pretty much covered the plush itself. Not much I really need to say else. You've got these black lines going down her dress here, in case you didn't notice that part. And these nice little yellow buttons. She's got a collar there. Just get that down a bit, make it look a bit better. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the plush. Now if I do a little comparison to the Jazzware Classic Amy plush, as you can see they're roughly around the same sort of size. They're about 6 inches height each of them. Amy Rose has got obviously a bigger head, and their shoes are much more bigger. I mean, if you're comparing the two, I'd say overall the Jazzware Classic Amy plush does look slightly better, but that's only because Classic Amy has a more simplistic style looks and clothing, so it's obviously easier to manufacture as opposed to a slightly more detailed Amy from Sonic Boom. And that is the review, guys. Overall I'm quite happy with the plush in general. It's not perfect by any means, but in terms of a smaller plush it's okay. I don't actually own much Amy Rose merchandise in general, so it's quite nice to get something else to add to my collection. So if you're a fan of Sonic Boom and you like Amy Rose from the series, then I would say yes, this is a worthwhile pickup. Now, I said at the start of the video that some of the merchandise is more easily obtainable than the others. Now, the Sonic and Tails plushes that you see on the left and right are quite easily obtainable, but for some reason the Amy Rose and Knuckles, the Echidna plush from the small range, is quite hard to get hold of. I did a little scan on eBay just before I started this video, and I could only find one Amy Rose plush on worldwide listing, and that was in the big combined box set that they've released with all 4 plushes in it. And I think the price to get that, to get it shipped here, was about £60, which is crazy. I couldn't find any single listings for the Amy Rose plush worldwide as well, and I couldn't find any Knuckles for that matter as well. Now it seems that the Knuckles and Amy haven't been as mass produced as Sonic and Tails. So if you can find an Amy or Knuckles, then the way it's looking at the moment is I would recommend picking them up, because the chances are the value on them could well increase, and it may well end up being one of the more rarer plushes, a bit like the Jazzware Silver the Hedgehog plush. Okay, and that is everything, guys. Let me know what you think about this plush in the comments section below. Do you like the look of it? Do you not like the look of it? Do you plan to pick it up if you can get a hold of one? Also, what do you think about the new Sonic Boom game that Sega announced just yesterday? Sonic Boom Fire and Ice on the Nintendo 3DS. or some people are also calling it Sonic Boom 2. This caught quite a lot of the Sonic fan base by surprise, because I don't think anyone was expecting Sega to make a second Sonic Boom game. So what is your opinion on that, guys? Otherwise, if you like this video, then I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. That really helps me out a lot. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then please do. I in fact have a whole playlist full of Sonic the Hedgehog memorabilia reviews if you'd like to check out. And there's always new ones I'm adding over the coming months. Look out for the other reviews for the Sonic Boom plushes in the near future. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves and see you on the next video.